Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail. That would be me and friends. And my friend today is Blanche Pepitone. She's a community member. I have known her for about a year and a half, 2 years since we've been talking together. And when I say she's a community member, she's a member of the tribe. But I know that she has been around much longer than the 2 years that I've known her. So, welcome, Blanche. It's good to see you today.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So, when people, Blanche, you live in Philadelphia,
Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, yeah.
Pennsylvania, um, and so she's on the what I call back east because I'm here in Boise, Idaho, where she calls no, it's here. Right? She lives where she
Right.
lives. She doesn't think of herself as living back east. She thinks I live out west. Anyways, and she has she has an amazing story for us today about how, first of all, where her journey began. Before we get into Blanche's story, I would love for you guys to put into the chat, into the comments, where you're from so that we can see, because we always like to say hi. We'd love for you to give thumbs up or hearts. They look like that. Give us some loving. That's right. Give us some loving. Because, all of us need a little loving, a little thumbs up, a little encouragement. And that's what I find most wonderful about Blanche's story is her sense of um, love and compassion and encouragement for the women in our community, but also what she's gone through and how she continued to encourage herself and find encouragement as she went along the road. So, Blanche, hi.
Hi.
um, so, when you think about your journey, where in the world did your journey start?
Huh. Um, I was diagnosed with lymphedema first when I was very young, about 18 months old. Um, my mom couldn't buckle my shoes the same on both feet. And then I was about 9 months old and she was walking me outside, and my neighbor said, "Oh, look at her leg. What's wrong with her leg? It looks swollen." So that was my left foot. And that's where the lymphedema journey started. And we went along through all of the years and had 9 different surgeries for debulking, starting in 1967 with a surgery on my left foot, my left leg, called the Charles procedure, and that was either 67 or 68. And leading up to 1987, when I had the last surgery for debulking, and then all the way along the way, all of the different things that I did. I used a pump when they first came out, and I was 11 when I got the pump. So that was in the 70s when they came out, and used that for a bunch of years. I've always done something to keep this as controlled as possible and to keep things moving. And then I found manual lymph drainage in 1992, where I met Gunter Close, and I was at the Dr. Lerner's place in Princeton. And at that time, I lived in Staten Island, as you can hear, where I'm from. You know,
Where
this East
where are
Coast,
you from?
this East Coast place. You know,
Yeah.
so so I was in Staten Island at the time, and I had been married, and I had 2 kids. So there's life continuing all the way along. I met my husband roller skating. So, you know, we were roller skating, and that's where I met my husband. And I've always ridden bikes, ice skated. After one of my surgeries, I was about 3 or 4 years old. Um, and I didn't want to go to therapy. I didn't want to learn to walk again. So my father took me ice skating. And that's how I got my exercise and learned how to walk again. And from then on, anytime I had something and I had to relearn how to walk, different surgeries that I had, all of the things that went on, had two babies, got married, had two babies. My babies are beautiful young men right now, both married, and I have a grandbaby. All good stuff, right? And then I had the manual lymph drainage in 1992. Then things go on. You don't have manual lymph drainage only once in your life. It's not a one and done. It's an
Right.
ongoing process. So as things change, you change with them, and the management program changes, and whatever gets thrown at you, you keep moving, right? So,
Right.
you know,
Right. And
it's
so
like
you
when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. Except they didn't throw me lemons; they threw me kiwis, and still expected me to make lemonade. And somehow I did it.
right.
Don't know how,
Right.
but I did.
Right. And so you have what they call primary
Primary
lymphedema
lymphedema, yes.
because you were born with it pretty much.
Correct.
Right. So it
Yes.
wasn't from a surgery, it wasn't from an injury, it was from birth.
Right.
And so how did you discover that you have lipedema as
Okay.
well?
So I was always looking for ways to keep things under control. And the last thing that I was trying to find, and I had been trying to find since 2006 really, trying to find some way of eating that, because that must be the only thing left, because I was doing exercise, I was doing everything else that I was supposed to be doing, compression, bandaging, daytime compression, nighttime compression, manual lymph drainage when I needed it, all of the things. I was doing all of the things except for diet. So I was always looking for some way to do something eating wise that would be helpful for me, because food is the one thing that we can't change. We have to fuel our bodies. So I want to put the right stuff in to make the body work the best way it can. So I found um, this group while I was doing my lookings for all of the dietary things, and it was the keto that we did in 2020. Back in 2020, in October of 2020, um, when we did the keto diet, we were talking about all of those things, and I decided to try the keto diet. And my sister was diagnosed with lipedema in 2020 as well. And she came to the conference as well with me. It was a Zoom conference, so we were able to do it. So we went to the Zoom conference, and then while I was losing the weight, I'm seeing, oh, wait a second. I didn't know that this was, I didn't know.
Oh,
The way that the weight came off told me, yeah, this is lipedema. But because I had the lymphedema for my whole life, who would notice that I had lipedema as well? And who really knows?
right.
Anyway, who really does know? What doctor really knows and says, you have lipedema? We don't find those a lot. We're getting better and we're working on it, right? So that's how I
Right.
found out that I had lipedema. And the eating actually does help. The less carbs, well, breads and grains. I didn't know I was doing the right thing. I was low carb to begin with, so
Right.
I wasn't eating bread as it was. Then and I've been sugar free for a really long time, so it wasn't that big of a stretch for me. But
Right. Right.
it was developing an eating program that I've now stabilized. So that's one more variable I can take out of the equation when I'm trying to find a good maintenance program. You know,
Right. When you went when you started eating in the ketogenic way, you lost weight, and that's when visually you're like, "Oh, I
right?
have these fat pads and I have these big hanging arm pouches that we have,
Yeah,
the big fat pouches behind our arms and stuff." And so when you yeah, did you have pain in that? Did you have pain from the
I
lipedema?
didn't know I had pain until I wasn't in pain anymore.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I hear that from lots of people. I didn't know
Right.
that it was painful. I had the whole thing. bruising, pain, all the things that you hear about, the lumpy skin that looks like a quote unquote orange peel or a bag of peas, basically, which is what mine looked like. And now when I look back, because knowledge is power, we all know that. Now when I
Right.
look back at pictures that were taken whenever I got, measured for compression and they took pictures, or if I was going for manual lymph drainage and they took pictures, I look back at the pictures and I can see from like 2016. Pictures from 2016 is where I could really see the bag of peas on my legs and my
Right.
hips and right below my waist. I could see all of that in those pictures. They never took pictures of the upper body because they said I only had lymphedema in my lower body. But I knew, well, I had it in my left arm, but I knew that I had it all over because of the
Right.
abdomen. I could go up and down by a few inches in my abdomen, basically overnight, but
Right.
most of us can. Most people that
Right.
are listening here know that.
Right. We do. We
So,
know that we can swell up very quickly, and we can also unswell. I don't know. We can
right,
also release a lot of fluid rather quickly
right,
as well. And
right.
it
I
sounds
liken
like
it to a balloon, right? So, like, we got a water balloon. So, right now, this skin is nice on this hand, right? And I've been going back and forth, but you see, it's like a water balloon,
right,
right? So, that's not bad. I'll take that, right? That's not too bad. But if you have this thick, heavy, you see this, that's more like a pool noodle, texture
okay,
wise.
hold on. We're a little frozen here,
Oh, whoops.
Blanche, and I'm hoping that I can I can fix that right now. So we're gonna have to let me see what I can do to see if I can fix this freezing. Hopefully I won't lose everybody. I'm gonna switch over to my hotspot if I can. Um, see if I can do that. Hmm. Okay, let me.
Oh, no.
I'm back. Sorry guys, I had to switch over to my hotspot. I'm hoping that Blanche comes back on soon as well.
I'm still
Here.
sitting here. Oh, there you are.
Okay, there you are. Okay. So
Okay.
thanks, Blanche. Now I had to switch over to my hotspot and because we were frozen. And so anyway, so you were telling the difference about your hands,
Right. So my
right? So you
hand
were
is
showing us,
like a water balloon, right? That's the
right,
texture, right? But if you go up here, this is thicker and heavier, more like a pool noodle.
yeah, and I can
So you
actually,
get the
if you do
difference
that,
in texture,
right, and
right? See?
if you do that again, push your fingers in. We can
Yeah.
actually see the
You can see the
indent.
indentation. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's not your usual lymphedema, lipedema. You usually have to press for a little longer than a half a second
right,
to get that. But I think that right now I'm dealing with central lymphatic issues as well.
right,
So I
right,
don't only have lymphedema, which is a lymphatic disease, and lipedema, which is a lymphatic disease. There's
right,
other things going on with a lymphatic system that was born now. So we try to keep things at the water balloon stage. But you've seen my hand when it's
right.
really, really swollen.
I
And,
have.
and this is not swollen at all.
Right,
My right hand's not swollen at all today. But, you wake up in the morning, you assess what's possible for that day, and you boogie on doing that for that
Right.
day because you
And
don't have a choice.
no, because
That's
it's the day that because it's the
right.
day that you're given.
You woke
And
up today.
yeah, you woke up.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah, you
you
woke up.
woke up today, so go.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you inspire so many of us in the community, because you have discovered that um in ways of saying, okay, this is what I have. This is what I'm going to do. Um I want to talk about this color that you have going on.
My my necktie,
Everything, your necktie,
my
I
necktie,
and just the
my
just
pinkness,
your pinkness. I
my
want to talk
pinkness.
about your I do. I want to talk about your pinkness,
I
because you
am the
said that you
pinkest person.
you are the pinkest person, and even to the point where your grandson calls you pink.
My grandson calls me pink. Yes, he does. He calls me pink. Well, when people look at you, right? I don't have a choice. This is the body that I have, and I don't like staying dammed up in the house. I go out. I do things. I've worn shorts my whole life. And had, tons of stories of all of the crazy things that I've said to people when they look at me and go, "What happened to you?" No, scrutinize. They look at you with scrutinize, or they look at you with pity puss. So when somebody looks at you like that, you tend to look down. So if I look down, I'm looking at pink, and pink brings me joy. So you have to look for your joy. Whatever your joy is, take it with you because you're going to need it. You got to be well
Right?
armed. You have
You
to be
do.
well armed when you walk out into the world, right? So because we're a bunch of people that are not we're non-conventional, right? Like I said
Yeah.
before, I'm expected to make lemonade out of kiwis, but I'm expected to do that. We're all expected to fit into this world that isn't made for us. It's made for
Right.
something that doesn't really exist. I
Right.
don't know. I don't know where all those people are that are that tiny little size that can fit in those little tiny bathrooms that we
Oh,
have to walk in sideways, and then I can't close the door. Like ridiculousness, right? But we're not made for that. So if I look down, I see my pink, and it brings me joy. This is what I do. So
right.
and I have a wheelchair that I go around in. I have an electric wheelchair, and it is hot pink, and I purchased it that way. So when people see me coming, they go, "Oh, I like your chair. That's so neat," and they greet me with a smile rather than, "Oh, she's gonna be in a wheelchair." I don't want to see that
Right.
face.
No.
I don't want to be
No.
greeted with that face. I want to be greeted with a smile. I was in
Right.
I was in Walmart the other day with my husband, and I was waiting for him to come through the line, and this little girl comes running up, and she screams out pink, right? So I don't I don't know the kid. I don't know her. So the mom says she saw the pink and she had to come over, and I was like, "Well, hi, how are you?" Had a whole conversation with this little kid. She was just so happy to see pink, and she came over and she looked at my chair and all of that. And that was the best part of my day. It's that little girl. Because it made her happy. Good. I
Right.
made somebody else happy, and she made me happy. And the mom was like, "I'm sorry, I don't want to bother you." No, no, no. Let her bother me. Let her bother me, because that's not a bother. When they're
Right.
smiling and they're happy, the kids can ask all the questions they want because they're sincere about it.
Right.
They want to know. She's like, why are you in that? So I said, well, and she showed me her light up sneakers. She did show me
Ooh,
her light up sneakers, right? So they lit up.
because they're
I said, this is how I roll. You roll around, you go around on sneakers, I go around on wheels. And she was
right.
perfectly content with that.
Yes.
And she
Yeah.
was perfectly happy with that. And the mom was like, oh, yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. But it is, when somebody says, I love your chair. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I roll.
Yep. And you have cup holder and a big pink cup with
Yes.
it,
Yep.
and so tell me about your necktie. What's that all about?
Okay. So my necktie. Okay. So I had COVID in August, and this is still the oxygen. I don't know why. I'm still dealing with oxygen after the COVID. I'm thinking that it's after the COVID. I don't know. It could be due to the lymphedema, the lipedema. I have no idea. But I still have to wear the oxygen. I can't stand it on my ears. So the first thing I did, I took the little doohickeys that you use to count your knitting stitches, right? These little semicircular plastic things. I hooked that onto my glasses, and I hooked the hose onto that so that it would not have to be behind my ears, but then it wouldn't stay. So instead of the plastic thing choking me, because
Right?
this size changes throughout the day. You never
Right?
know what size it's going to be. Sometimes I have all of these wrinkles in this cheek, and sometimes I just have a dimple and it's nice and plump. You never know. Depends on how much fluid there is. So I made this little necktie to hold the cannula in place.
And it
Because,
lays
you know,
flat, and it
and it
doesn't
lays flat.
cut up
Yeah,
into
it's
your
like a
chin.
necktie. No, it doesn't
Yeah.
cut it into my chin. It keeps the thing against my chest and around my neck, and it's pink and it's curly and it's fun.
Yeah. And somebody asked you, oh, and you can make one of every color that you wear. And what did
Yeah.
you say?
Why? There's no other color.
There's only one color.
There is
There's
only
only
one
one
color. She
color.
asked me if I
And
made
it's
them in a lot of colors. I'm like,
there's only
haven't we
one.
met? No, it's only
There's
pink.
only
There's
there's
no
only
reason.
pink.
There's no reason for any other colors. I'll take it in pink.
Right.
You may have
Right.
any color you
That's
like.
good. But I don't need one, so no thanks. Right?
Yeah.
But you it's like it's lovely and it's soft and now you don't have to worry about it hitting you in the chin. You do so many things to adjust um so that you can live your life to the fullest. And I remember you telling us about when you decided to to travel.
Hmm.
There was like an aha moment and you decided to
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah.
Can you share that story with us?
It was October of 2022, and I was very sick. I had been very sick and trying to heal, trying to get better, and I'm sitting in the wheelchair. So I'm sitting in the wheelchair and I'm going, if I could sit in this wheelchair in here and travel to the doctor's office and go around to the doctor in this wheelchair, I could take this wheelchair on a boat and go on a cruise and use this wheelchair for something good instead of just to go to the doctor. I got tired of just going to the doctor. Why do I have to sit in my house? I can get in that chair and I can go on a cruise. And I booked a cruise and we went in August. And that's after the cruise is when I got the COVID. But, I had a
Yeah.
great time on the cruise. I don't care.
So where did you go and how did you get there?
We went to Alaska and we got on, I don't fly. So we went on the train from Pennsylvania. We took 4 trains from Pennsylvania all the way around the country into California and into we ended up in Seattle, Washington. Then we took the last train, the fourth train, to Vancouver, British
Hmm.
Columbia. And then we got on the boat from there, and then we took the trains all the way home again. So we traveled
So
all the way on Amtrak because God didn't give me wings. And he didn't
right.
give me train tracks either, but he put them in convenient places all around the ground. And so I
Right.
went on the train.
So you went on the train from Pennsylvania to Vancouver, um, British Columbia,
Yep,
and then got on a boat and went up into Alaska and then back. So you
yes,
took a two direction.
yep,
And now from what I know is you you did excursions,
I did.
and
I
every
did an
excursion,
excursion by myself.
right.
I
And
did one all by myself.
all your excursions that you took were wheelchair accessible,
Correct. Yes.
because you can really dig in and find those, and you had a
Hmm.
wonderful time.
Yep. I had the best time.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
How long did it take you?
Well, let's see. I left August 16th and we got back September 2nd. It was a
So
7-day cruise. So, but
right,
it's all part of the trip.
right,
The train trip is all part of the trip as well.
right,
So my kids were on the cruise with me, right? My four kids, because they're all mine now, because they're all married, so they're all mine.
right.
So my four kids were on the trip with me and my grandson, and they were on the cruise.
But
And then the
did they?
rest of the trip was me and my husband by ourselves.
So they flew into Vancouver,
Yes,
and you guys trained into Vancouver, train road,
yes.
and then
Well, my one son met me in Seattle.
okay,
Yes, my one son met me
yeah.
in Seattle, and we spent the day in Seattle, which was really nice. And then they took the train with us to Vancouver. We spent the night in Vancouver, and then my other son and his family joined us, and we went on the cruise the next day.
Oh, how
It was
fun!
all good.
How
We had the
nice!
greatest time.
And you could have just sat in your house this whole time,
Correct.
but instead you said, "No, I can go places in a chair as well as I can sit in my house in a chair."
Yep.
Yeah. So it's really coming to that conclusion that you can live your life.
Right.
You can live your life, and you don't have to be housebound
Right.
simply because
No,
you
it's not.
because
It's
you
not easy. It isn't
no,
easy. None of this stuff is simple and easy, right? There's a learning curve to driving the chair. There's a learning curve for all of the things, right? Using a
right?
shower chair, there's a learning curve. You got to learn how to
Oh
do it.
yeah. Oh
That's like,
yeah.
you know, you can't just get thrown in there, right? So, there's a learning curve for all of these things. Learn it, get good at it, and use it. Why not? If I
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
chair, why not use it? I had the chair long before I needed the chair continuously like I did, you know, previously because I wanted to go places. If I went apple picking with my kids or if I did anything, I got about 2 hours in me. And then I got to stop because I'm exhausted. I'm
Right.
done by the end of it. But if I go in the chair, I can go all day.
Right.
We went
Yeah, you
all
might
day
as
on the
well.
cruise. I went on
Yeah.
a I went on a trip when we were on the cruise. I went on one of the excursions. It was 5 hours. I was by myself in my chair, getting on a bus and going touring all over Alaska, all over Juneau. I had a great time. I had a ball.
Well, I'm sure you did. And your family wasn't worried about you. They knew you could do
No,
it.
no.
Yeah.
They were like, "Go, get
And
away from us. Leave us alone."
we're tired of you. We've been with you for all this time. Get
No,
off the boat, mom.
they
But they have
actually
things
they had to keep up with me.
right. Right. I know, because you
Yeah,
were ready to
they thought
go.
they were going to have to keep up with the 3-year-olds. No, you got to
Oh,
keep up
yeah.
with Pink.
You gotta keep up with Pink. Yeah. And that makes your life so full and rich. And now, wait a minute. Didn't you have a wedding you went to recently? Who's that?
Yes, my youngest son got married in February, and that
Oh,
was another
yeah.
thing that we decided in October. I decided in October of 2021 that I am going to dance at my son's wedding. I knew he was getting married, and I was like, this chair thing is ridiculous. I am going to dance with my son at his wedding, standing up dancing. I can dance in the chair, and I do. I can still dance. Our friend Julie says it all the time. I'm still dancing. It just looks different.
You're right.
That's all, right? But my goal was to dance at Tommy's wedding, and I did. I worked my way up to being able to dance. And then I was even more able by the time we got on the cruise. I was even more able then. And then COVID
Right.
happened.
Yeah.
COVID kicked my butt, but COVID didn't start till I was on the train on the way home.
Yeah.
I got a
Yeah.
fever, and that was that.
Yeah.
So,
And we don't know how long this is going to last because it looks like long
no
COVID
idea.
now. Something about COVID, and I know this is segueing actually into us talking about what's coming up, and I have to promote
Good.
something that's coming up um, in February of this month. Dr. Ray Perrin is going to come in, and he will be teaching. We're bringing him into Boston, and he will be teaching a group of clinicians, and it's open to clinicians on February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. He will be teaching a workshop. It's a certification workshop for people to learn the parent technique. The parent technique was first acclaimed, I would have to say, for reducing or treating fatigue, chronic fatigue. He suspected that there would be long COVID effects and things like that. And he is now going to be coming over to Boston. Catherine's bringing him in to run a workshop for clinicians. We do have a link if you're a clinician or if you are a clinician and you would like to look at attending that. Now, let me put that in the comments so that anybody who either wants to attend, this is in person and there's a certification. If you want to attend or you want your clinician, your practitioner, um, to attend, I have to take the word opens in the phrase opens in new tab out of there before I post it or it won't work. Um, so if you want your clinician to come, the link is in the chat. Take that link to your clinician, copy paste that to your clinician, and invite them to come. There is a fee, of course. There's a certification. We're bringing him in from the UK, and so I want to say it's just under $2,000 for this course, for this 3-day, very impactful course. I'm not sure of the exact fees, but please make sure that you take a look at that. We also have something else coming up. We have a town hall, and that's on Thursday. I'm going to put that in the chat as well. Let's see if I can get this copied in there. Opens in a new, I don't know why it's just, this does that now. Let me make sure that. So we're having a town hall also, and this is free to the community. So please come and go to our town hall. Um, that's going to be talking about, that's on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be talking about everything that we've done this last year and that we're looking at coming up this year with Lipedema Simplified. But seriously, we really, really would love to see clinicians and coming to this Dr. Perrin's workshop. So please
Yeah.
make sure that if you're a clinician, register for the workshop. If you have a clinician you would love to learn the Perrin technique, have them register for the workshop. And with that, I'm going to go back to you, Blanche, because that that was a great segue. Because you have been dealing with long COVID,
Yeah.
is what you're suspecting,
Yeah.
and that's why you need the oxygen. That's why you've had to make sure that, because you wear it all the time, make sure you hook it on your glasses, which I think is brilliant that you use stitch counters.
Yeah.
Um, when I first saw them, I'm like, what are you using? And you have those little circles that hook on, and then
Yep.
you pulled this down and it makes everything fit. And so you are an amazing person for making adjustments and modifications so that you can be more comfortable and live a better life. Is there anything else in that space, in that type of thing that you've done that you think, oh, you know what, other people should know this? I mean, I understand that my thought is I understand what happened when you wanted to make sure that you got the best fit compression.
Yep.
You took a course in you
I
became a
became a garment fitter.
you became a garment fitter,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because you
Mostly
had to
because
wear
most of the garment fitters that I came in contact with way back then were they were fitting for mostly arm patients after breast cancer,
right,
right? That was
right,
what they were fitting for, or the ones that are out of the box for like varicosities and things like that, for varicose veins or any kind of circulation issues when doctors prescribe a knee high or that sort of thing, right? So I decided that since they were intimidated doing an entire body, because I needed pantyhose that came all the way up to the bra line, right? So it's a lot. And when I'm
right,
saying, listen, you know, you're measuring me sitting down with my leg on the table, I'm going to be standing in these things. Couldn't you measure me standing up? You know, like measure me standing up. They didn't want to listen to me. So I got the letters after my name so that they could listen to me
right,
and that I would know what
right,
I was doing. And I did do a lot of garment fitting, and I did mastectomy bras and prosthesis as well. So, you know, I did that for a little while, and I've done all kinds of crazy things. But I did that so that I could learn what I needed for myself. I've been wearing garments, compression garments, since I was 18 months old. So I've been wearing garments since 1967. So
right,
more than 50 years of wearing the garments. I became a garment fitter back in the early 2000s. I think it was around 2002 to 2000, around 2002. And I worked until 2006. I worked at a DME for a long time. And I did the garment fitting so that, you know, I could also learn about all of the different kinds of garments. Because when you talk compression, yeah, you could get what do I need? Do I need daytime garments, nighttime garments? Do I need circular knit, flat knit? Do I need inelastic, elastic? What kind? What do I need? It's very, very confusing.
right,
So, you know, even for me, I've been wearing them forever and I don't even know, you know, I still had a hard time trying to figure out what to put on this new body, you know, because every day it's a new
right.
body.
Yeah,
Who knows? Right.
right,
So, you know, my best estimate, if you're looking for compression, nowadays, the therapists are the ones that do the measuring for garments, for either custom or for the out of the box garments. And there's a there's a knack to it. Like there's a
there
knack to
is.
all of these things. There's a knack to
Yeah. And I've
it. Yeah.
heard that and I've heard the statement that a good garment fitter is worth their weight in gold. Somebody who understands what you need and has that knack of going, oh,
Right.
this garment would actually fit you better and do a better job for you than this particular one. Especially, I mean, this brand might be what you need,
Right.
or this,
Exactly.
depending. And we get so many questions about compression,
Yeah.
and and all of us, no matter who we are, we want a quick and easy answer so we can just take care of it. Right? I mean, that would be the utmost gift in the world if
Right.
someone were to say to you, "Okay, you need this garment in this size with this, and you need this garment."
Yeah.
If we could just do that, but we can't because it's so complex, right? Each body's different, and it's not always the same every day,
Right.
right? And so, or time of the day, like you say, you wear
I
garments
wear
during the
garments.
day,
Yeah.
you and you wear garments at night.
Yeah.
You get your hour a day to bathe
Yeah.
and and
Yeah.
take, and then let your body
But
air
I'm not
out.
comfortable. I'm only comfortable wearing my garments because
Right.
I've been wearing them my whole life. So, but somebody that's never worn garments before, where do they start? How do they figure it out? It's
Right.
difficult to figure out all of these things. And you have to give yourself a chance to learn. But this was what
Yes.
I did. I learned all of these different garments because there's hundreds of garments out there,
Right.
and then you also have to assess what's your ability level.
Uh-huh.
Where How are you going to be able to put these things on? Because the compression that I need is not the compression that I'm wearing right now because I can't put them on.
Right.
I
Right.
can't do it. I physically cannot pull a compression class 4 on. So right
Oh,
now I'm
yeah.
not wearing the 4s. Right now I'm wearing 3s. I only backed down to 3 because I didn't want to. I was going to back down all the way to 1 and get 2 pair because then that'll give me more compression because I'd be able to put 1 pair on, right? So then, class 1 compression, I might be able to get that on by myself and then just put another one over top. That would give you the double the compression.
Right.
So, but I'm able to get the 3s on, but I'm very flexible. I can reach my feet. If you can't clip your own toenails, if you can't reach enough to clip your own toenails, I don't know how you would get these things on. So then there's that. If you can't put your own socks on, how are you going to get these things on?
Right. Right. And
So
then we also have
there's all of that
right.
kind of assessment, and that's what your therapist is able to find out. What's your ability level? What's your need level? And what can you actually get that you can
Right.
actually use? Because the
Right.
garment is no good if it sits in a drawer.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, we talk about a lot of times they talk about compliance. Well, and then I think about some of our community members who get a much heavier compression than they can even put on, or that it's
Yeah,
painful. So many of us start with a very light compression and work our way up, or we just stick with the lighter compression because it's so hard. And I know some of our community members might have rheumatoid arthritis, and there's just no way that
yeah,
they have the that they can put their garments on by themselves with the pain in their hands, right?
right,
Or if they get a pair of compressions that leggings or something that don't fit properly, they can't get them adjusted properly. They'll end up bunching at the narrow spots at the knees
right.
or in the groin, or they might not be able to get them up where they need to in the groin. I know that we have like we have people who wear the crotchless and then they wear panties over them. But your story about wearing crotchless was that there was ended up becoming swelling in the crotch hole, right?
Right,
Right? And so
right.
you actually had to make a panel that fit to keep
I did.
everything. Okay,
Okay.
so tell us that story.
Okay. All right. So I wear
I love
thigh
this
high.
one.
I wear thigh
Right.
highs. And because my abdomen changes, and literally because of this, the swelling in my abdomen can go, I can go up and down 11 inches. And that's not a joke. I'm not lying. I can go up and down by 11 inches. It's been as high as 51 inches and as low as 39. And it's right now at 42. So I'm pretty good. I kind of stay around about 42, but I can't really get a top part of the pantyhose on because I don't know whether it's going to fit me that day. So I've been wearing abdominal binder, and then the abdominal binder is all elastic, and it's all Velcro. So Velcro sticks to it. Then I had these panels. It's a triangle, like a trapezoid shape. There's a longer piece in the back, and then a smaller piece in the front, so that has Velcro on both ends, right? Let's say hook and loop, right? So
Right.
it's got the loop part, right? So it's got the rough part, that sticks to the back, and then I pull it through, like, when we used to wear the bodysuits that had the snaps inside, right? So you pull it
Mhm.
through to the front, and I hook the other part on the front. So I've made my own pair
Right.
of bike shorts, So, and lots of people say they can't keep their thigh highs up. Bicycle shorts will work for that. If you get a pair of bicycle shorts, that wouldn't work for me because I don't have only lipedema. I have the lymphedema too. So then you get that balloon animal effect where you go from one end to the other.
Right. Right.
For
Yeah,
me,
exactly.
but for
Yeah.
somebody with lipedema that does not have the genital swelling like I have, it might work, right?
Right.
So they might be able to go with crotchless pantyhose so that it's easier to go to the bathroom. So you get them up one time and you don't have to keep pulling them up and down, which
Right.
is, you know, someone should come up with an easier way to do that, don't you think?
I would think so. I would think
It
so.
should be.
Well, and for me, I would go, "Oh, I wear my compression as pants. I can't do crotchless."
No,
'Cause
right,
no, because I don't wear a dress over them.
right.
I wear I'm tall enough that uh they would be all mini dresses and I would have to be concerned about exposure. So, I personally don't like I can't handle the feeling of my compressions underneath my pants. I don't care for that feeling. It will drive me nuts. You wear
I'm
your
used to it.
compressions, you're used to it, but you also don't wear pants, you wear
No,
dresses.
I wear dresses.
Yeah,
I
you wear
wear dresses
dresses.
everywhere I go.
And
Well, I was tired of getting clothes that fit me one day and don't fit me the next day. It's very disheartening to go into your closet and say, "Oh, I want to wear this today," and then it doesn't fit today because today's not a day that it's going to fit, right?
right,
Today's today's what I call, here's my word. You ready? Notable. It's a notable day because if you take the two words not able and put them together, the word is notable.
right.
That's
It's
how it's
true.
spelled.
Yeah,
So it's a
notable.
notable day. That's notable. That it's a better way to say it so that
Right.
it doesn't get to your heart. You
Yeah.
keep it in your
Yeah.
head. It doesn't get down into your heart,
Right.
right? Because it's
Right.
very disheartening to go in to your closet. That doesn't fit me today. I get rid of all that stuff. I wear all dresses that are stretchy so to fit me no matter what. So
Right.
everything in my closet fits me, no matter what size I woke up to today.
Right.
Just
Right.
makes no difference. Because if I wake up tomorrow and something that I did, ate, whatever, had a reaction to, blew me up and my abdomen blew up, then nothing in my closet's going to fit me. Nope, everything fits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you go in my closet, everything's pink.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have absolutely no
I have a
doubt.
walk-in closet. I don't remember who walked in
It
and said,
glows.
"This is your closet, isn't it?" Pink. What else is there?
It just glows.
But my husband's clothes are in there too. It just so happens that the door opens this way and you can see my half of the closet. He's got his half of the closet, but I don't have anything in a dresser. I don't have any drawers. So he's got the
Right.
dresser and he's got half of the closet, and then I have the rest of the closet.
Right.
Then
So
we
you
don't
can
have
get
to
in
worry
there.
about sorting colors because he just washes all of my clothes together. That's all.
True. You don't have to sort colors.
No,
No.
it's easier that way.
If something white gets in there, it becomes pink and nobody
And then
cares.
nobody cares. I certainly don't. I say, "Oh, good, that
Uh,
happened."
I love it. I love it, Blanche. Oh my gosh. Before we go, is there anything else you'd like to say or like to share about you?
That this is all me. It's all me all the time, And anytime anybody needs to chat, I'm always ready to chat. No worries, you know.
Yeah.
I'll help you with whatever you got, because chances are I've been there, done that already. Got lots of
chances are,
t-shirts from all the walks
yep,
that don't fit me. They don't
in
fit me,
pink.
but it's okay.
They don't fit you, and they're all pink.
Well, none of them are pink. That's the problem.
That's the problem, so you won't wear them.
So I'm not going to wear them anyway, but
Yeah, yeah. So, Blanche, usually before we go, I ask my guest if there's a message that you would like echoed around the world, what would it be?
huh? A message
I
to
did.
echo around the world. Oh boy. No matter what, you are able. You can you can do anything you put your mind to. Set your goal and do it. Just do it. It
Yeah,
really is, for me, it's become that simple because I really didn't have too many choices. You want to go on that trip? If you plan it, you're going to go. I planned it
right.
and went. I went.
And
You
you,
have to have a reason. What's your reason? You woke up today. What's your reason? What are you doing today to get to whatever that goal is? And just
right.
get there.
Yeah.
Plan your work and work
You,
your plan.
I love that too. Yeah, yeah. And that you're able. You're able. Thank you so much, Blanche. You inspire me, and I know that you inspire so many people in our community. We really appreciate you,
Thank you, Gail.
and you're welcome. And I hope that everyone on this call has found some little bit of inspiration to take with them to bed tonight and wake up in the morning knowing that they're able. So thank you very much. Have a good night.